Welcome back to Rabid Noise on Rabbit Radio. Joining me on the program now is the one and only Dani Filth. Thanks for joining us tonight, man. What's happening?
Well, it's first thing in the morning here in England, so not quite with it yet.
You need a few coffees?
Yeah, something like that.
Awesome, man. Well, your latest project, Devilment, is it's awesome, man. I really dig it, and it's very different musically. How did you get involved with the band?
Well, it's about 3 years ago that the other guitarist, Dani Filth, who was kind of like the founder, approached us. I just met him at a gig, really. He'd just moved to my town here in England, and then, you know, a few drunken sessions later, he just suggested me helping him out on a project he was working on, and basically just grew from there. Worked on it as and when between Cradle tours and Cradle albums, and we assimilated various musicians along the way, and just went into the studio a year ago. Not for the entire year, but we had the opportunity to record a bit here, a bit there, and revisit it after Christmas, and after Cradle went out and did a co-headline tour with Behemoth, and basically, also picked up a good management in the vein of Paul Ryan, who was the guy who started Cradle with me. He's also the band's booking agent.
Oh, cool.
Since leaving Cradle, he became a prolific booking agent with the agency group here in Europe. And he's also now the Cradle booking agent as well. So both bands won't step on each other's toes next year when it comes to summer festivals and the such like. So, yeah, that's basically the history of it, really. It was something that just kind of grew out of just an idea. I was basically at first just helping someone out, as they were looking for a vocalist, and I was like a stopgap, really, just to help out with some ideas for a friend.
That's awesome, man. And then it just grew into this, and it's a good album, man. As I said, I like it. It is different musically. It's got a little bit more groove to it. And the album, of course, it's called The Great and Secret Show. And I heard it comes out on Halloween over there. Is that right?
Well, yeah, as near as damn it. Halloween's the Friday, I believe, and it comes out on the Monday, the 3rd. Hang about. That's not right, is it? It comes out on the 3rd, whatever day it is.
It's close enough. It's close enough. So have you got any plans to, Halloween plans to sort of kickstart that album?
Well, next week, Cradle go from pretty much up until that day in Russia on a full tour. Playing everywhere in Russia, literally. Then I go straight out with Devilment, and on Halloween, which is actually my wedding anniversary as well, we're going to be starting a tour supporting Motionless in White and Lacuna Coil across Europe. Halloween was going to be in Bristol, of all places. Not exactly how I expected to spend this year's Halloween, but it's a good start anyway.
Oh, well, that sounds like it's going to be a kick-ass tour, man. It sounds like you just don't sleep.
Well, I think I'm going to just have to give that up. It's not, what's sleep anyway?
Yeah, it's overrated, right?
It's for losers, yeah.
And the missus was all right with you playing a show on the anniversary?
Well, she wasn't overly thrilled, no. Normally we have, like, really cool Halloween and go and do some various spooky things, usually up in London, but this year, got to go with the flow. Needs must when the devil drives and all that.
Yeah, yep, totally understand that one, man. I've been in that situation myself, and you just got to flow with it. You'll make it up to us. You'll be right.
Yeah.
Well, I heard the album also features a cover of Midnight Oil's Beds Are Burning. Am I right?
Well, it's not actually on the main bulk of the album, but on the special edition, which comes out at the same time. That's the one that's up for pre-order.
Yeah.
It's got 3 bonus tracks, and one of which is, a cover of Beds Are Burning, done in her own style. Also featuring my friend Bam Margera from Jackass, who's doing some vocals on it. It sounds really good, actually. It sounds worse than what it's, actually sounds. He actually comes across a lot like Pete Steele from Typo Negative. And it's it's like a really heavy gothic version of the track, but very similar.
The copy I got, it hasn't obviously it hasn't got that on it. But I'm actually keen to hear it. I mean, obviously, Midnight Oil are an Australian band, and they're known for pub rock. So I thought that might have been an interesting choice for a cover. But man, I'm sure you've made it work. So
it made it worse.
Work? No, work. I said not worse.
No, it's done in our own imitable fashion.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like Cradle have done in the past with getting King Diamond onto a cover of Cliff Richard's Devil Woman and Stay by Shakespeare's Sister. You know, we take these really great songs anyway with pop sensibilities and then kind of pervert and twist them. What we've done with the Midnight Oil cover. It's very faithful to the original, won't change the structure or anything like that. It's just we've like reversed the keyboard, so it's a bit like The Exorcist playing over the top. But yeah, I mean it's huge. It sounds really big, and I think that was one of the premise about covering it was just it was a really good song, one of the songs you grew up on, and we just wanted to do something pretty different with it.
That's cool, man. No, I'm definitely interested in hearing that for sure. So, when it comes to preparing for a new album, do you record vocal demos at home, or do you just write out patterns and then go into the studio? How does that usually work out for you?
Well, I usually write the vocals here at home, and then I've got my own studio, which I go to with an engineer, and then just demo them down there, muck around with them, really. See what sticks. And I'm doing that really with the Cradle album at the moment, as well as going to Russia and then going straight out on the Devilment tour. When we get back from the Devilment tour, Cradle are in the studio with a view to releasing the album early June next year. So it's been a bit of a mad rush toward getting everything finished, because obviously not going to be here for the next 2 months.
Yeah.
We've got 15 tracks which we'll address in the studio, so we don't know which one's going to make the actual finished album, but sounding amazing and what have you. But the same thing's been applying, and after these bunch of interviews I'm doing this morning, I'm going down to the studio to lay down some more vocals and some more demo tracks for that album. That's awesome, man.
Has it got a name yet, or is it...
Well, it's working under it hasn't got a name, but the working title's Hammer of the Witches. It's just because of our new lineup and everything else. It's just it's amazing. It's gone back to the twin guitar harmonies, very fast and ornate and atmospheric, very spooky, but lots of melody. Yeah, I think it's going to surprise a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm definitely keen to hear it, man. Last time I saw you guys play live, though, was in Brisbane. My band actually played with you guys at the Hi-Fi last time you were here.
That was a great show, actually, Brisbane.
Yeah, that was cool, man. Yeah, I had an absolute blast. So, I'm really looking forward to seeing what you guys do next. And hopefully, are you going to come out with Devilment as well?
Well, that's the plan, although we don't. Next year's looking pretty full up as it is already, mainly because slew of summer festivals for both bands, and then Cradle will be going to America in the fall for about 8 weeks, and that's about as far as we've got so far, but it's continually sort of filling up even as we speak. Obviously, being good that we've got our managers are booking agents, so like I say, both bands and what have you. But yeah, that is the plan. It would be great to get over them. We really enjoyed touring Australia last time and we had some days off in Brisbane as well, which was nice. We got to go to, the usual Kangaroo Sanctuary, et al. But I got to catch the Bronx as well the night before we played, actually.
Was that the Crowbar?
Yeah,
I think that was
no, I think it was at the same place, actually. But yeah, just made a change to actually have a few days off. We'd been in Asia. We'd just come from Taiwan, and rather than go back to England for a day and then come, ridiculous, we thought we'd have 2 days off, which makes a change. It's not always the case.
Because, with the hectic touring schedule, you're just play, play show. It must be good to have just see a bit of scenery, stop for a bit and take it all in.
Yeah, definitely.
As I said, I've seen you guys live a couple of times over the years, and you always seem to nail your vocals live, man. You're always on there. So, do you spend a lot of time warming up to hit those high notes and things like that before a show?
I've got my own techniques. I don't overly warm up. That's one sort of misconception about people think you get better, but the more you do it, it's a good way to just get more tired. So you don't want to go overboard with it. But yeah, there are techniques and stuff like that which you learn over the years, like anybody does with tools of their trade.
Oh, of course, yeah. But man, no, congratulate you. Just really kick-ass live, and you're always solid, and you always put on such a great show. And you know, you've got such a dedicated fan base around the world as well. And you know, I even know a guy who's got your face tattooed on his arm.
Nice.
I mean, when you see that kind of thing, how's that from your perspective?
Well, it's a little strange, but kind of used to it now. I mean, this is like 20th. We've been signed. Well, our debut album came out 20 years ago this year, so kind of used to. Well, can you ever get used to it? Sometimes it gets a little bizarre, but yeah, no, we just appreciate the fact that that we have had the longevity, and hopefully the same will apply to Devilment, that people will embrace it and realise that, yeah, it's not Cradle of Filth and that it is different. And that's the whole point about it. It's not supposed... There'd be no point in me doing another band like Cradle of Filth. I might as well just join Dimmu Borgir or something.
Yeah.
And the premise behind Devilment is it's a pressure valve. It's different. Each song has its own entity. So some are quite simplistic. Some are a bit more... varied with different instrumentation, but it's all about the heaviness, the big beat, the groove, the massive riff, the chorus, etc., etc. So it has to be, it's not everybody's cup of tea. It may be more people's cup of tea than Cradle, but essentially it is a different entity.
Man, most of the people that I've spoken to that have heard the first single, was it Mother Kali? Most of the people that have heard it, man, that are fans, they do see it as a completely different animal to Cradle, and they appreciate it for that. And I think it's good, you're doing something for so many years, you do have to sort of keep things a bit interesting for yourself, so when you do go back to it, to, your original band, you can keep things fresh for yourself. Is that right? Would you agree with that?
Well, I do. I think it's what's good about it as well. It's almost like a pressure valve. Devilment was a pressure valve on a bit of an escapism from Cradle when that was getting a bit much, because after a touring cycle for 2 years, you're pretty much done with it. So that was good to write lyrics and do something different, be in the studio with Devilment. And then even during the studio time, we went out and did a co-headline tour with Behemoth around Europe with Cradle, so that was a bit of escapism there. And likewise now, with all the press that Nuclear Blast have bestowed upon us quite lovingly, and we're very grateful for it, and videos and all the stuff we've had to do recently, it's now another pressure valve, another escapism to then jump back and be working on the Cradle stuff towards the new album. So it's quite good. There's like two sides of the coin, and the fact that the Devilment album's coming out pretty much like in tandem, like opposite orbit to Cradle. Cradle will be like next June, whereas, as I said, Devilment's coming out at Halloween. Hopefully they won't, ever tread on each other's toes in that respect. So, yeah, quite fortunate with the fact that I can turn to one over the other.
Do you ever think you could actually do a show where it'd be Devilment and Cradle together? Do you reckon you'd do a back-to-back show? I don't know. That's the sort of thing Devin Townsend or King Diamond have tried. I don't know. I don't even know if we'll be doing shows on the same day at the summer festival. So maybe, like we do one day and Cradle do the other. But I don't know. I'd give it a go. Be a laugh. Yeah. It'd be
a laugh, or it'd be a complete disaster. One of the two.
Oh, I think you'd probably get used to it. It'd be pretty demanding. I could imagine it being pretty demanding, though.
I should think so.
Yeah, hectic, man. All right, man. Well, we're going to go to the track Even Your Blood Group Rejects Me now. Thanks so much for hanging with us tonight, Danny, and I wish you all the best with both Cradle and Devilment, and hopefully we're going to see you guys soon.
Yeah, cheers. Can I just say that Even Your Blood Group Rejects Me is the new video. You can see it on YouTube, or you can visit the Facebook pages, Devilment, Cradle, or, in fact, Dani Filth, because I spread much news across all three. So anyway, check out the new video. Yeah, we like it. So yeah, thanks for all the support, everybody over there in Australia, and thank you for undertaking this interview with me.